Good evening, everybody. Chris Allen here live. Hope everybody's doing well. As we get you another winter storm update, it has been an interesting afternoon in that, well, let's just say I've been licking my wounds this afternoon. But, my wife reminded me of this, and this is why good wives are good at reminding you of the stuff that you forgot you said and bringing you back down to earth. When you're no forecaster wants to bust a forecast. But she said, "How many times did you say bust? How many times did you say there's going to be this sleet and freezing rain mixing in, which may cut down on the snow totals?" And I said, "I don't know, a bunch." But that wasn't the forecast I went with. I still went with the lean of, yeah, we would get some heavy snow this afternoon. There's heavy snow happening. It's just not happening here. But I was just looking at some of the National Weather Service chat rooms. Greensburg just reported 3 inches of snow and roads covered with ice. That's up in Greene County. Now around I-165, 7 miles out of Bowling Green, it's snowing. We're still getting freezing rain here in Bowling Green, but on the Butler-Warren County line, the Weather Service saying that they're getting some big flakes of snow. So the transition is happening. It's just not happening right here where I live. So, of course, I gotta remember just how big this storm is, and I think it's not done yet. It's not done yet. There's still the potential to get some accumulating snow as we get into this evening and overnight. Regardless of all that, the roads are really bad everywhere. The roads are really bad. So don't go out. Don't venture out this evening unless it's an emergency. Crews are out there doing the best they can. I've seen them really working hard all day today and doing a good job. And the good news is, as I check the power outage tracker, there's not much of any power outages around here at all. And that's because we finally got rid of the freezing rain, and it's been mainly sleet. With sleet, you're not really going to get power outages. It's the freezing rain when it comes down as rain, and then it coats the trees and the power lines and the surfaces. That's where we get into trouble with power. So thankfully, it looks like that's going to be out of here very soon. But what we're contending with right now is still some sleet and snow. We're finally starting to see that transition of snow. I'm showing 29 degrees here at my home weather station. At the airport right now, let me check that real quick on my phone. Airport is reporting 23. Now, what has kept us from getting the bigger snows that we were looking at is the amount of sleet and freezing rain at the beginning of this system, and it has been with us all day long. So you go up about a half a mile to 3/4 of a mile, that warm air layer stuck in there and stayed longer than just about any forecaster thought it would. Even the Weather Service, they kept coming down on the snow totals, because the longer, and I can still hear it hitting my window here at home, as long as this sleet was falling, that's going to cut down on the snow totals. So that's what's happened. So some of you in the chat room here, you're welcome to chime in, give me a report. I can see your name automatically as soon as you log into Facebook and YouTube on the SAM channel. it puts in your name, but you need to put your location so I know what you're talking or where you're talking about and what's going on right now. And everybody else can see it too. Like Jamie, Coral Hill Road in Glasgow covered in sleet. Wouldn't drive on it, period. Yeah. Lady Bass Player 23, roads are bad, but I don't know where you're coming from. So there's a good example of where I need a location. So if you could put locations in your report, that helps me, that helps everybody that's watching this live report. So there's Jennifer, nothing but sleet in Scottsville and a lot of it. Yeah, I've seen pictures, probably you have too, on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram all day of people just posting pictures. It looks like a lot of snow, but it's really a lot of sleet with maybe just a little bit of snow mixed in with it. So, but just know this, the roads are bad everywhere. They're not going to improve. That's the next thing I'm going to talk about is the cold. The cold is really dangerous. And the next storm coming in for Wednesday and Thursday. So we got a lot to cover here, and let's get to it. First thing I want to show you is radar. So here we go. This is the current radar. This is live as of 5:36. And you can see, and I'll do a little radar tour for you. And what we're seeing right now over the Bowling Green area is, again, that mixture, but we're right on the edge of sleet and snow. Western part, as I mentioned, west of Bowling Green, once you go up I-165, the Natcher, 231, 6880 west, it's snow now. Big flakes of snow starting to come down. East of Interstate 65, it's still sleet, like where I live in Plano. It's still sleet hitting the window, but it's going to transition very soon here in the next little bit. And you see all this back here in parts of western Kentucky, that's all snow. Cadiz, Hopkinsville, Elkton, Greenville, Dawson Springs, Madisonville, Central City, they are now all reporting snow, and it's coming down pretty good. There are some locations that have just within the last hour picked up about 3 inches of snow. Looking at, in fact, while you're looking at the radar, I'm going to look at the National Weather Service chat room from Paducah. They're saying just now, Hopkinsville, Christian County Emergency Management reports 3 inches of snow on the ground. That just happened within the last hour. Now there is where we're looking at better than 1 hour, an inch an hour snowfall rates. Remember I mentioned that we could see snow that heavy? Well, it's just now happening in Hopkinsville. So it is happening, and it's going to happen more so back to the west of us. Let's see if I can get another report out from that particular area. Paducah, now they're reporting some, snow, heavy snow in parts of the Missouri Boot Hill, and then into southern Illinois, and then on down into like New Madrid, Missouri, which is just across the river, into the Boot Hill of Missouri. 3 inches of snow on the ground, and it keeps coming down. Now, back into our area, mostly just sleet and snow. What about Tennessee? The Nashville area, a lot of ice accumulation there around Radnor Lake. That's just outside of Nashville. Those of us that are native to Nashville know where Radnor Lake is. Beautiful place. They said almost 2 inches of ice accumulating there, and that would be sleet, mostly, that's been falling all day. Light snow now reported in Clarksville, Tennessee. So there was, for a time, an outage of the National Weather Service chat room, and we were just blind. We had radar, but like you're seeing right now, but we were blind to any reports that were coming in as to what exactly was going on. You can see there's Clarksville, Tennessee, Springfield, Portland, Franklin now getting snow mostly. Russellville, you should be getting some snow. There's that report from Hopkinsville, and there's more back here, even though we're seeing a back edge to this system. I can switch radars and make sure, because with snow, you have to get near the radar site to really see what's going on back in another direction. Because if you don't do that, then you're likely to miss a bigger slot. And there's some more leftover snow. Now, Memphis got hammered with snow. Heavy snow today, moved through Jackson, Dyersburg. You can see just kind of that back edge, the leftovers here, now moving into southwestern Kentucky from Paducah down to Murray, and then into Clarksville, Tennessee. All of this is still, this energy is moving off to the north and east. So we still may get in on some of that even as we get into tonight. So we're not done with the snow. In fact, it's just beginning for us, as you see here on radar, and I'll move back into the Bowling Green area. Now, east of us, yeah, all of this kind of, you can almost draw a line with Interstate 65. You know, you go from Louisville down through E-Town and then on down to Bowling Green, you know, like that. There's 65. So east of 65, we're still looking at mostly sleet. And even as you get down into parts of Tennessee, you can see that green down there about, looks like about Oneida, Tennessee, Clay County, down to parts of the Cumberland Plateau. It's still rain, freezing rain at that. But you see the transitioning is now happening with the snow, finally. It's just taken a lot longer for us here in Bowling Green. So there you go. That's the reason that things have been slow to happen, but it's happening. Excuse me. I hope this sounds and looks better. I did two things after all the mistakes yesterday with this stream. I finally got my microphone, and I hope that it sounds a lot better than the microphone that was built into the camera. That's what I was using before. You guys let me know if it's distorted, not loud enough, too loud. You guys kind of let me know that. The other thing is, now I've got the stream into a hard line instead of Wi-Fi, so I shouldn't have the jumps and the hiccups that we had with previous streams from here at the house. So you guys tell me. Okay, here's Jennifer. Your sound is a lot better. It's not cutting in and out like it was. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. 3 inches. Corbin, look at this. Corbin Mattingly. Let me put this up here so everybody else can see it. All right, this is a storm report from Corbin Mattingly. Corbin has, through the years, thank you, Corbin, been one of my weather watchers, if you want to use that term. 3 inches of snow in Litchfield. So Grayson County, on top of all that, pretty good snowfall, 3 inches. Hey, remember when I said yesterday, amidst the chaos of trying to get all this to work properly, that I said if, and this is what my wife reminded me of, thank you, honey. You know, I said there would be a bust factor if we get more sleet or freezing rain. That would cut down on the snow numbers, which has happened. And that I wasn't going with like Weather Channel numbers or anybody else's numbers that was throwing out, you know, 9, 10, 11, 12 inches or more. I just did not see that happening. Remember, I said I wanted more, I was looking at more conservative numbers. Low end, I thought we would end up with 4. I really did. But here's the thing that I just told you a few minutes ago. it's not over. We're not done yet. The day, as my grandpa used to say, the day ain't done yet. And there's still time for us to get a good transition over to snow this evening. And yeah, it's a good possibility that some of you could get 3 or 4 inches of snow on top of the 1 or 2 inches of ice, sleet that's out there. So when you do the total accumulation, well, maybe 4 is a possibility. All right, let's move on to the briefing from the National Weather Service, because it does bring us a lot of what we're going to look forward to here in the next 24 hours. So let me click a few buttons here and get that pulled up for you, because in their winter storm briefing, the new one that just came out, like maybe just before I went on, it has some things that you'll be interested in knowing for sure. So let's take a look at that. Here we go. All right. Pull that up. And bada bing, bada boom. Here we go. So the major winter storm still continuing. They're still calling it that. And the winter storm warning will continue through tomorrow morning. They have not really backed off of that. You can see all the pink shaded counties, which includes Bowling Green, much of the SAM 100.7 listening area. That's going to continue through tomorrow morning. Second wave of precipitation is ongoing right now and will continue this evening and into tonight. And as I mentioned right off the top, travel is not recommended at all this evening. Just don't go out. Don't go out. It's not good. Now, they have put the caveat in here: power outages are possible due to snow and previous ice accumulations. Where we get more ice is going to be in this purple ice storm warning, which stretches up to Lexington. They expanded it earlier today when they saw that this area to the east was really going to get a lot more sleet and freezing rain. So that includes Tompkinsville, Monroe County, Burkesville, Cumberland County. It includes Columbia, Adair County. It includes Russell Springs, Russell County, Clinton County, Albany area, then over toward Wayne County, Monticello, then to Somerset and Pulaski County, Casey County, on up, as you go up 127 in that area, and then over toward I-75 toward London, Mount Vernon, Richmond, and then on into Lexington. So that's where the ice storm warning is, and that's where power outages are going to be possible this evening. For the rest of us, now that we're starting to see that transition from sleet to snow, hopefully we won't have much in the way of power outages. If they happen, they would be very sporadic. So hoping that that's the case for the rest of the evening. Confidence and level and impact still running very high and still running moderately high in the precip types and the precipitation amounts. Even though a lot has changed, the confidence still pretty good on all of those levels. Now, as I mentioned, the Weather Service, just about everybody, has backed off considerably on snow accumulation. So this is the new map. They did put a little sentence here that says, this is potential storm total snow from today through Tuesday morning. So what they're saying is there's still some out there, as I showed you on radar, and there's still the potential of getting, like I said, 2 to 3 inches here in Bowling Green, lesser amounts out to the east because of the sleet and freezing rain, mostly sleet now, up to E-Town, right on the border of 2 to 3, 3 to 4, Louisville, maybe on the border of 4 to 6, Hopkinsville 6 to 8. There seems to be this area that I showed you on radar where it's snowing right now really well. 3 inches on the ground already in Hopkinsville, and they're continuing to get snow. So, yeah, it's a possibility from Hopkinsville up to Pennyrile and I-69. They could get anywhere from 6 to 8 inches, but everybody else a lot less than that now because of the sleet that's been following all day. So it was that, remember the black line that I showed you if you were watching some of my earlier live reports, that there was that bust factor. Remember, we were in that. Well, the bust factor happened. So we're not going to get those higher accumulations of snow. It's just not going to happen with this one. Licking my wounds. All weather people are licking their wounds. It's okay. It happens, okay? But I feel good that I didn't go with those bigger numbers. You know, Weather Channel had everybody scared. It's like, what? 12 inches? 8 to 12? They were still saying that around midday today. So, anyway. Forecast ice accumulations now through Tuesday morning. Yeah, very little, but in this red zone from, you're still under the gun here, Albany, Burkesville, Tompkinsville, up to Russell Springs, Jamestown, Columbia, over toward Monticello, Somerset, London, and on up 75, Mount Vernon, up to Berea, Richmond, Lexington, Moorhead. Yeah, you're still under the gun for an additional quarter inch to a half, a half inch of ice still this evening. And it may not all be sleet. It could be freezing rain too. And that is where we're looking at the potential for power outages. So now, what's next? You know, we've been talking about this next system coming in for Wednesday, Thursday. Now, I can tell you tomorrow's just going to be cloudy, and it's going to be cold with a few leftover flurries. We're only going to make it up into the low 20s. And then tonight, we're going to drop into the teens, but with that bit of a wind out there, northwest wind at around 10 to 12, it could feel like 0. That's another reason not to get out this evening. Tuesday night into Wednesday, cold and cloudy, lows single digits to teens, highs only in the 20s. But Wednesday night and Thursday night, this is when the next event comes around. And yes, it is taking the same exact path as this one and could have the same exact outcome. Let me just put it there for you. Snow, sleet, freezing rain, and rain possible across the whole region. Lots of uncertainty in the exact precipitation type of this setup, i.e., another bust factor if you're looking for snow. Any kind of freezing rain, sleet, contamination is going to cut down on snow totals. So let's just go in to this next one knowing that. This event proved it, and it could prove it to us again. More rain, though, than anything else expected in eastern Kentucky. Some precipitation locally heavy, and lows in the 20s, highs a little bit warmer, 30 to 35 Wednesday night into Thursday night. That's riding the fence. Freezing is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're going to be 30 to 35. Again, there's going to be, you go up about 5,000 feet, about a half a mile or so in the air. That's where that warm layer is going to be again with this next system. Therefore, we just cannot be sure of what you're going to get. I would say it's going to be pretty much like you got today in some of the same places, it appears. Friday, it moves on, cloudy, isolated snow showers. It'll be brisk and cold, highs in the 20s, wind chills in the teens. Now, next weekend, or this coming weekend, it should say, instead of next weekend, slightly warmer, possible river flooding. We talk about that too, because that is something that is a big concern in Kentucky because it's, the way the hills are, the mountains, far eastern Kentucky, but the hills and the valleys, you get a little bit of warm air. All this snow and ice has got to go somewhere. And when it starts to melt, it goes down into those rivers and streams and flooding. Flooding is a big deal here in the state of Kentucky, and that's unfortunate if you live over in that part of the state. Let's see here. I do have a couple of more things to show you. Let me move to another. I've got another graphic or two I want to show you before I go. So let me get you into that. I'll show you, first of all, temperatures from the Kentucky Mesonet Network. This is where we have the real-time weather stations across southern Kentucky. And there you see right now what we've got as far as temperatures. And this is why, again, we're seeing the sleet and freezing rain more into eastern and southeastern Kentucky, because right now it is 32 in Somerset, or 31.6 to be exact. While you go over into the western part of the state, this is Princeton. In Caldwell County, it is 12 degrees, almost 13. Now that's, yeah, this is right now. You didn't know that, did you? Look at this. Muhlenberg County, Greenville, right now is at 18 degrees. Look at where we are in Bowling Green, 23. I'm showing 28 here at home in Plano. And right now at the airport, or this would be the Mesonet site out at the Ag Expo farm. And they're showing 23. It just updated. There we go. 22 is the temperature in Morgantown and Butler County. But then you go up into Ohio County, 20 degrees in Hartford. Let's go over to McLean County. Calhoun right now has dropped to 15 degrees, almost 16. Crazy, isn't it? Look at this. Crittenden County, Marion, Kentucky, on the river. 11 degrees right now. Then you go over here where it's sleeting, freezing rain, as I said, Pulaski County, 31 degrees. That's 20-degree difference. And again, it's all right here, I-65 corridor is where it's happening. And back here is where we're seeing that transition to snow in western Kentucky. So just give it time. It didn't happen when we thought it would today, but it is happening now. So, and you know, here's something else you need to think about. Your pipes. That's going to be an issue, I think, in the coming days. You've got, think about it. And I've been a homeowner. You know, I am, you know, had a house when the girls were growing up, had to maintain everything. I live kind of in a duplex now, but somebody else takes care of that. But still, I'm going to leave the faucets running because we've got an ice pack on the ground and we've got snow coming in on top of that. And then we're going to have sub-freezing temperatures with wind chills around zero. Starting tonight, some of you, as you saw, back in western Kentucky are already getting that. So I would just leave the faucets dripping some tonight, especially if you think where you live, that could be an issue because it is going to get cold enough for that. And not just tonight, but also tomorrow night. We're not going to get above freezing until maybe Friday or Saturday. So I would just do that. And we're hearing of some water issues back into western Kentucky. And then I see this coming in from Ricky Henderson, who's been really good at sending me some updates. He says, I'm pumping water out from underneath my backyard as we speak, have been since the last 3 inches of rain that we got. So the ground is really soaked from rain freezing rain, sleet, then more rain, freezing rain, and sleet. And so some of the underground water pumps and things like that have been really working hard. And excuse me. And looks like the water issues that I was just reading this from Paducah, I think it was. Yeah. Back into, let's see, where did I see that? Here we go. Flooding in Elkton. That's in Todd County. Water over the road and rising on West Main at Elkton. Todd County Emergency Management. That was about an hour ago. Yeah. Some flooding back at Morton's Gap. That's in Hopkins County. 3 inches of water on Highway 813 near exit 108 on I-69. Yeah, you think, what? Flood? Water? Yeah, all of this is water, and it's all going to become that once it starts melting in a couple of days, and that's going to be a big, big problem. I was watching video out of Cincinnati, Covington, Kentucky. They've got, about 5 inches, I think, on the ground. Here's a report that just came in from Edmonson County. Mammoth Cave Park Forest Service there reports 1.5 inches of sleet on the ground, and now it's starting to transition to snow. All right, so the transition is happening. It's just happening slowly as we go through time. All right, let me, let's see, here's one more thing I wanted to show you. I will, it's this thing called MPing, and MPing is a really cool tool that we have, and anybody can have it if you want it. It's not one of those exclusive weather people things. It's an app where you can actually report the precipitation that's happening where you are in real time, and you can see everybody else's report as well. So let me call that up for you real quick, because I wanted you to see in real time what is happening. All right, here we go. Click this, do that, and here we go. This is the MPing report. It is live. Now, here it's showing, and it looks, you kind of look at it and you think, wow, that's pretty. It's almost like stars twinkling, but the star symbols that you're seeing there, that's snow. Then the stars, the ones in blue, the circles in blue and some of the orange and pink colors, that's the freezing rain sleet mix. Notice how we're getting some of this snow on the northwest side of Bowling Green. And then we're getting still reports of freezing rain and sleet as you go out 231 and down 65 south and out to the east. And then you see all the scattered reports. It looks like once you get past the ridgetop into Goodlettsville, Tennessee, and Nashville, now they're starting to see that same transition over to snow. You see the snowflakes there. And then west, look at all the snowflakes back here. Clarksville, that would be Dixon, Tennessee, the Tennessee River, the Cumberland River, or the Kentucky Lake and Ken Lake areas, starting to see that transition to snow. Cumberland River running into Nashville, Tennessee River. Yeah, it's all starting to happen, especially back to the west. And then you can look up near the parkways. There's the Western Kentucky Bluegrass Parkway. There's 165 where it's starting to transition over to snow. Paducah getting snow, Murray getting snow. It just depends on who's making these reports, but you can actually sit and watch this in real time. To get into it on your phone, you just put in you search MPing, the letter M, PING. Okay, just go into Google and search MPing, and it will take you to where you can download this on your phone and have it as an app. And then all you got to do is go in there and make a report, and the Weather Service will see it. People like me doing forecasting, covering weather will see it. And this is how we can see in real time what is actually happening, along with the radar, to see what's being reported out there. All right, let me get to some more of your reports. And remember, if you put a report in here, please put your town or where you are at the moment that you make the report. And I'll go through some of these just real quick. I won't keep you here long. Let's see what, here's Justin Lobb. Large snowflakes and visibility declining, along with roads completely covered in Brownsville. So Edmonson County now seeing that transition over to snow, and you've got all that ice underneath it. So it's going to be a rough go for a while. Here's Ronnie Crane, 1.5 inches of sleet in Horse Cave. That verifies the report that came in from the ranger station at Mammoth Cave a few minutes ago. Let's see. Here is Ricky. Okay. Live in Lewisburg. Okay. Sorry. What was, I saw one before that. Oh, here's one. This is from Jeannie Hanner, snowing in Franklin. So again, along the 65 corridor, the transition is beginning to happen. I'll call up radar and one more time before I go here and show you what's going on right now. Get my radar back up. Yeah. So I'm trying not to go an hour on these updates because I know you guys got things to do, and then I'll eventually need to go to bed because I plan to be at work tomorrow at SAM. I didn't have any trouble this morning in my Jeep, although I did slide around just a little bit in a couple of places, but it wasn't that bad. Let's see. All right. It's being honoring. Oh, here we go. Thank you. Sometimes you just have to click the right button. And this is going to get easier for me as I go through time because I'm still learning this software and making sure I understand how it works. So appreciate you guys bearing with me. So here we go, back on the radar. You can see that transition happening again along Interstate 65 as you go through E-Town, then down to Bowling Green, and right down into Nashville and beyond. So yeah, west of Bowling Green, and now, well, it's, look out my window. It's dark now. It's hard for me to see if it's snowing here, but I don't hear any more ice hitting the window. So I would say, according to the radar that I'm looking at, we are getting snow now. Franklin's getting snow. We had that report verified. Russellville, Morgantown seeing the transition, Central City, Hopkinsville, Elkton, Madisonville, Clarksville, all snow. To the east, if you're in Glasgow and you're over toward Edmonton, Metcalfe County, Scottsville, Allen County, you're still seeing a transition, but snow's coming. Look down south of you in Sumner County, Gallatin, Portland, I'm sure Westmoreland and that area, starting to see that transition over the snow right there. And it's coming right for Scottsville. So you've had a lot of problems with the ice this afternoon, and now you're going to see things changing over to snow. Let me check with Nashville. So they're getting a lot of reports around Nashville now of snow starting to come down. Snow in Gallatin. So that's what I just showed you on the radar. It is snowing in Gallatin. So if you're in Scottsville or Allen County, it's not snowing there yet where you are. It's about to. East Nashville getting reports of snow. So the transition is beginning to take shape, and by tomorrow morning, um, you know, maybe, as I showed you, 3 inches on the ground. I'm going on the, the low side of things right now, considering what happened today. And all forecasters, I think, are now just a little, want to get off the trigger finger just a little bit and just like, oh, okay, my nature just taught us a lesson and, showed us that, those big numbers weren't certainly going to happen with this particular system. All right. Snowing at, this is Chad Hagen's. Put that up for you. Snowing at BG High School right now. All right. Thank you for that report, Chad. Appreciate that very much. And I do appreciate all of you listening and watching these updates. I will do them more consistently, try to keep them a little bit shorter. But as long as you guys watch, I'm going to keep doing them. The technology allows us to do this now, and it's awesome. I love it. So I appreciate you getting into the Sam channel here on YouTube and Facebook. I'll be back in the morning to cover everything. I'll do my 4:30 a.m. post on the Sam Facebook page. They'll be on my pages as well, Instagram, Twitter. Then I'll start my radio show tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., of course. And then from there, I will just see how the day goes tomorrow. Tomorrow should be just flurries, but highs only in the low 20s, wind chills in the teens and single digits. So tomorrow's just going to be a nasty, blustery day. Not a whole lot more precipitation coming in, just cold. And be sure and let those faucets drip tonight. And make sure, again, like the American Red Cross said to me yesterday, keep heat sources like a furnace or a fire or a kerosene heater or anything like that away from any of your, curtains, rugs, blankets, sheets, anything that can catch fire. And just make sure you're monitoring that stuff and it's just not letting it run unattended. So that's how those fires get going. Let's see, I just saw one or two more little things coming in here. Let me see here. What is this one? Eddie Fisher. Snowing pretty good here in Logan County, Cave Springs area. Thank you, Eddie. Eddie Fisher, do you sing? No, not that Eddie Fisher. Okay, I'm thinking of another one. Yes, Michael Stewart, take care of the pets. Thank you for putting that in there. Very good. Let's see here. Marty. Sorry. Marty Wilson. Rain, sleet mixed in Edmonton. Yeah, you're east of 65, so you're going to get that for maybe another hour or two. Then you should begin to see the transition over to snow, hopefully. All right. Light snow in Cave City. Bonnie Tibbs, thank you for that. Here's one more. Marcy Huffman Stanton. Lots of snow in Caneyville. All right. So it's happening. It's just now happening. So, all right. You guys, thank you. God bless you so much. I appreciate it. You don't know what it means for somebody like me, a weather guy who did all this on television for 31 years, and now I'm doing it in my home and at the radio station. And I've been given this opportunity to just kind of fill you in and tell you how it is. Bang or bust. Whatever happens, I'll just lick my wounds and go on. It's every forecaster's hope that we get it right. But if we were 100% right, 100% of the time, we would be the smartest people in the world. So we just take this for what it is and move on and try to prepare for the next storm. See, now, if you followed everything I told you, regardless of the outcome, you're now prepared for what comes Wednesday, Thursday. See? So it wasn't all bad. Y'all be careful out there. Just don't get out unless you absolutely have to. I will get out. I'm good at driving on this stuff. I'm careful. I'm fine. I've done it 100 times. Not a big deal to me. It doesn't bother me. I've got a Jeep, four-wheel drive. That doesn't mean I get crazy with it, but it doesn't intimidate me. So I will be there at the radio station in the morning with my show 6 to 10, Sam 100.7, streaming live to bowlinggreensam.com. And I'll probably at some point do another update here in the Sam channel on YouTube and Facebook concerning the next system sometime tomorrow. Have a good evening. Thanks for watching, and God bless.